What's up, guys? Welcome to the I'll Be Honest podcast with Eric and Chola. Eric on the rise, other known as Eric on the rise. But we have our co-host Johnny Garza and Johnny Anesthesia. We're about to dive in. I have a few things I want to talk to him about today because we haven't seen each other in a full week, and I've been going through some stuff that I feel like I should clear up on and tell him the truth about because I've been struggling, and I like to make assumptions rather than talk things out. Whenever you make assumptions, it's a very, very hard thing to do because you're thinking one thing, but you don't even know what that person is going to say or how they'll react because you're already assuming in their head how they're going to react. So this is what I wanted to share with you today, man.
Yeah. Well, before you get started, I'm going to tell you that, it's definitely a different vibe. It's definitely a different, I feel it. I have felt it for a while. I want to say for the past month, you've been kind of like in and out of your headspace, and that's fine. We go through these things, but it does affect the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a safe space. I'm glad you threw me on this podcast because I'm not going to say anything that I don't want to say. But this is an very important podcast because I do have a lot to say as well.
Mm-hmm.
And some stuff that, I was trying to hold off to say because I don't think you're prepared for a lot of things. But again, it's your own process. It's your own, like you said, it's your own path to success in whatever capacity that is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna give you the first 20 minutes to really speak what's on your mind and what's the process like in your head and what you've been doing over the course of, I don't know, I would say the last 3 weeks to a month.
Mm-hmm. So really, I've been just working, focusing on school, hanging out with my girlfriend, and but still there's this feeling I'm feeling like I'm holding you guys back in as well as I'm holding myself back. It's not that I feel trapped here because that's kind of what I told you, but it's more as I feel trapped myself. I don't know where I can go and feel like I'm going to be myself, so I have to develop that and be able to be myself anywhere I go because it's a hard thing to do. And I get so much in my head. I have so much emotions and all these things going through my head. It's just hard to get them out and really tell you because I always assume rather than talk about it, telling you I feel like you're gonna get mad at me or what you don't, or you're gonna be disappointed in me, but rather you just want to help me. You just want to see me succeed, even if the words you choose or say will disappoint me. At least it'll be in a manner that I can understand and that I can grow from. So the 4 things I wanted to talk to you about were money management, mental health, assumptions, and lack of communications. I'm going to start with money management. Dude, I've been having a lot of just recently, because I haven't been spending money on things I don't need. I've been actually trying to save money, and I was doing good up until a point where I owed one of my buddies money, and then a week later, my dog got hit, and I was a $500 ticket for the vet bill because his leg it wasn't broke, but he got a puncture wound, and then he got a big-ass scrape on his leg. And, I feel like I wasn't fully honest because right now I have rent money for you, but I also have $30 in my savings account from whenever 2 months ago I had $265 in my savings account, and I was doing really well. I didn't know how to tell you that. I didn't know how you would process it, and I know because you've never cared about money. It's the point across that you're getting, hey, if you don't pay your rent on time, if you don't get the stuff done you need immediately, they could evict you, they could kick you out, they could do all this stuff. You can fall behind, and falling behind is one of the worst struggles you can have because you never know whenever you will catch yourself up, and it's very hard to whenever you fall behind. So I felt like I wasn't honest with you whenever we were talking about rent and everything because I was struggling to tell you, and I figured you would be disappointed in me that I didn't have the money rather than just telling you and be talking about it, and we could have got through it. Because it was a very, very hard thing for me to tell you because I was doing so well. I was, paying on time, doing everything I needed to right on time, but I took a point, and I do this a lot, and I try not to. There's a moment where I get in my head and I start falling behind, and then I start pushing people away, and that's one of my biggest things is I push people away, And whenever I start doing that, it starts not only hurting me, it starts hurting the others around me, because they're wondering, why are you pushing me away whenever I'm only trying to help you. So that's one of the biggest things that I've kind of been dealing with. My mental health, it's kind of depleting. My sleep schedule, the way I eat, how much stress I've been under, which it might not seem a lot, but like for the past week or so, I've probably lost about 3.5 pounds, because every single day this week I've only ate one meal and didn't even fully eat it, because I'd take a few bites and I'd feel full for the rest of the day, and that's because of my stress. And whenever you're stressed, it's hard for you to really focus on your sleeping schedule, your eating habits, your personal hygiene. It's really hard to focus on those things whenever you're in your head, and you feel like you want to sleep all day, and you feel like you don't want to do anything. You have no motivation, and I'm lacking what is it called, discipline. I'm lacking discipline in myself, because you're not going to wake up with motivation every day, but you can't. If you have self-discipline, then it's more of a habit than something you're forcing yourself to do. So that's one of the things I've been dealing with. Assumptions, I assume a lot. I assume rather than ask you. Like, I assume you're going to get mad, or assume you're going to be disappointed in me, than rather than let you speak and hear what you have to say. And it's really hard for me to do that, because I assume everything, and I wrote down ways how I can fix it. I wrote down ways what could be better than assuming. And then the last thing is lack of communication. Me not telling you when I'm gonna be home or where I'm at, or even though you're not my parent, you just want to know I'm safe. It's hard for me to be communicative about these things, because I didn't do it at home. And you know this, because I would just go off on my own. I wouldn't tell anybody. It just became a habit of mine, and it's not a good habit. So I'm trying to really sit down like this. Whenever I said I want to talk about it in front of a camera, last year I probably would have never done this. I would have never wanted to talk in front of a camera about my personal problems or what's going on between me and you, because everybody just wants to see happy, motivational stuff. But whenever they see things that normal people go through, realistic problems, it's easier for them to listen and understand, like, hey, maybe I went through something like that, and maybe he not going to give advice, but he can, give his story, and maybe I can relate to it and figure out ways how I can fix myself. So those are the things I've been wanting to talk to you about, and it's just, I didn't know how to really sit down and talk to you. And I sent you a few text messages at night, late at night, because because I changed what I wanted to do with my life, but as well as I'm still struggling to find my place here. Like, I feel like you're taking time out of your life, what you're focusing on, to help me, and that, as much as I love that, I also want to, I don't want to take that time away from you and feel like you're wasting it on stuff. Me, exactly, just to, I don't know, I just feel like I'm a burden, not here sometimes, because I just don't know how to fully communicate with you guys, so it's hard for me to tell you how I feel. It's just a very hard thing to do, so I push you guys away. So
Yeah, man. I want to first tell you that this thought process that you have right now, that is showing me tons of growth, and for you to be able to identify some of these problems that you're facing, and talk about it and verbalize it, because when you're able to verbalize it, you finally hear yourself. When it's just in your head, you just think, I got all this shit running through my head, I don't know, all these things going, I can't handle my emotions, I can't handle you. When you're able to verbalize that finally and sit in front of a mirror and tell yourself, then it actually becomes like, okay, I can handle this. I'm identifying the problem. Now let's figure out a solution. But what you're doing with your assumptions and what you're doing with all these thoughts and that's going through your head is you're just holding it in. And it sucks being, and now I realize what parents deal with. It's watching you spiral and feeling like you have to do this on your own, and you have to get out of the problem. You need to find a solution on your own. But everybody around you is supporting you and just there for you. And you're right. you push away. There's two things that you do really good, and I'm gonna be as honest as possible. I'm gonna be honest because number one is you push away the people that truly care about you, and it sucks. It really does. You've done it from the beginning. I know mom didn't give you the love that many moms give, but she loves you, and you've never seen that, and that's the saddest part about all this thing. Me, Ashley, we have shown you nothing but love. My love is a little bit different than hers. She's a little more, emotional, and she expresses it to you. But it kind of hurts when you say, or you try to give me an excuse that I feel like I'm burdening you and Ashley. I feel like I'm burdening. You're burdening us by not wanting to be a part of this family. You made a comment in the text message that said, I think I'm burdening you because I'm taking away from your future family. You don't realize that you are family. By you leaving, that destructs our family. And your thought process is completely opposite. And that's what doesn't make sense. I think maybe it comes with maturity or something like that. I have no idea. But I've told you from a really young age, family is all you got. No one else is, and it's unfortunate because I think you take advantage of it. You take advantage of that, and you. I want to tell you that you asked me a question about why, on a few podcasts ago, why I've always felt the responsibility of taking care of you. I knew your dad. I grew up with them. I know your mom, your biological mom. I know your biological grandmother. I know your biological uncle. They all pushed away the people that tried to help them. And unfortunately, they either have passed or, have gone their separate ways. I watched your dad go in and out of prison and try to get better for a while. I've watched how it really destroyed grandma in the process, really trying to help and support him. And I felt as if I can take you away from that environment and show you love and show you affection and show you possibilities, that it would change. But there is some biological stuff in there too. And so even if you separate yourself from your biological parents, it's in your nature.
Yeah.
But don't be your own worst enemy. You are.
I am.
And it's so unfortunate. And there's another question you asked. You asked me is like, when is the last time I've been angry? The only time I'm really been angry is when I see people, and not angry and like yelling, screaming or anything. It's when I see people extremely frustrated is when I see people miss out on their potential. And that's what bothers me. That's what really riles me up, because I'm watching you do so well and then you just completely crash, and it's just like the domino effect, man. And watching it from afar and trying to give you your space, it's not, dude, I don't know what to do. And I also want to tell you, man, the number two is the fact that you are great at self-sabotage. You know how to really make your situation worse. And I don't know how to break that habit. I don't know how to guide you to fix that problem. I try to you asked me, how do you always find the good in every situation? I don't know. I just created a habit, and I laugh about everything because it's all lessons. And I think in your mind, it's just like, fuck, I fucked up, but whatever. And you just kind of keep on rolling, and then you fuck up with something else. And then shit, by the time you know it, you're trying to make a different direction. You're veering off the road into dirt, mud, grass, into the woods. And in the woods is murky. You can't get your vehicle back out. Like, you're stuck. And you're looking at the road, you see the lights, but you're just still, it's just too far. You can't get your vehicle back on the road. And that's what I feel like that's self-sabotage. and you continuously do this, and I don't know how to break you from that cycle. I try to lead by example and try to show you, but sometimes that's not good enough.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's something like eternally in my head that I have to fix myself, like how to going from being my biggest critic to being my biggest supporter. Because I know in my head that I can do it. It's just I really have to sit down and think of why I think I'm such a negative, bad person in my head, when in reality everybody sees as good in me. And it's hard because I've felt like that for years. And whenever you start doing it over and over on years in, it just becomes a bad habit. So anytime shit hits the fan, I just like to run away. Instead of going towards the problems, I run away from the problems. And that's one of my biggest problems, is because whenever I start doing that, like you said, starts hurting the other people around us. Like, because now you're wondering, like, what could I've done better to help him not do that? But in reality, it's not you at all. It's myself. It's the way I think. It's the way I act, and like actions have consequences. So depending on what I do, it could either have a good or bad consequence. And I think what I'm doing right now is leading into ultimately bad consequences that I can fix easily. It's just that I have to spend some time alone and figure out, and I mean completely alone, and figure out why. I wrote this down. I asked myself, why am I the way I am?
It's a very important question.
And I'm still trying to figure that out, because I didn't have anything I could write down. I just was struggling with it. And then one of the things another thing I have a problem with is like my self-image, like looking at myself and thinking of, the person I want to be, and then the person I am right now is, how can I fix that? How can I change that? But I just see myself as this bad image in the mirror. Like I'm going to be nothing. Like don't have this discipline or motivation to really do what I want, and I'm trying to figure it out, man. Like I know other people figure it out sooner, some people figure it out later, but I want to figure it out now. Because I know as soon as I figure this stuff out, we will have a better connection. We will have a better relationship. Because I'll be able to come to you with my problems rather than just leaving and not telling you anything.
Why do you think you need to do that alone?
Because people have already tried to help me. Like, people have already tried to help me figure out who I am. People have tried to help me and put me in good scenarios, and I still felt like that wasn't enough. And I felt like the only thing I was doing is wasting their time. So that's why I feel like I have to do it alone. Not that I want to, and I will accept help along the way. But what I mean by doing it alone, I just need to sit down alone and go deep into my head and figure out like why the way I am.
Now, when you say alone,
I mean here obviously. I mean just like spend alone time. Like I obviously can't just get up and
But you never have alone time. You're scared of alone time.
I know, and that's my biggest problem.
So how are you supposed to find the solution in alone time when you're scared of alone time?
I have to force myself to be like.
You're constantly at somebody's house. You're constantly video gaming. You're constantly with your girlfriend. You're constantly doing things. You don't know what you're actually running from alone, but you're asking, I need to be alone to figure out the problem. That's what doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how do you just got to step up. It's not even just running away. It's just standing there and absorbing it sometimes. Like, yo, there's people around you that are so supportive, and yet you just push away. Mm-hmm. And it's not good. Mm-hmm. And that is why you've been spiraling. You've lied to me, which you never lie to family. Yeah. Never lie or steal to family. That's like my number one rule. There's no reason for it. You rather lie to me than tell me the truth than me to be disappointed, which is so freaking crazy to me. That's like, I'd rather tell you the truth than you be disappointed than to lie. Yeah,
you'd rather hurt someone's feelings with the truth than rather comfort them with a lie.
Yeah.
And I do struggle with that as well, because it's just, because either way I'm going to disappoint you, and it disappoints you more that I lied to you, and after the fact that I tell you, because I don't want to keep a continued lie going, you know what I mean? Because it just builds more and more and more, and then you just keep lying and lying and lying, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy, and nor does that loses trust from the person you love. Like, how are they supposed to trust you, know what you're actually going to say if you keep lying to them?
What's the truth in your life then?
I don't know.
Yeah. And this is what you've always said this. Like I've talked to you on the phone for years about this, and you feel like I just don't know. I got to figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. And you always find that I need to figure it out on my own. Figure it out on your own, but don't push away the support that you have.
Mm-hmm.
That's what doesn't make any sense to me. And I don't know what's going all these things running through your mind, and I never will, and I never care to dig into that mind of yours. But what I do know is care for the people that you love, and they will care back. And just like your friends, the friends that are calling you and checking up on you, like you don't push them away. So why are you pushing away the people that are helping you right now?
I honestly don't know. Like, I feel like it's because I get so in my head that I start telling myself, I'll be better off alone. I'll be better off if I just, try to do these things alone. And like you said, it doesn't make sense to you, but in my head it does, because I feel like whenever I do finally do it alone, like, I will be proud of myself, and other people will be proud of me, because I didn't need the help, and I just felt like I could have done it, but I just don't know how to do it. It's just like a question I ask myself every day.
Do you feel like you'd be less of a person if you accept the help?
Not necessarily. I just feel like I wouldn't be as accomplished with my goals.
How do you value accomplishment? Accomplishment, you can't value it. Oh, I'm gonna be less accomplished or more accomplished by the help that you get. Mm-hmm. The people out there that are very wealthy and the people that are the happiest have received support, mm-hmm. and also give it back. Mm-hmm. It's called the pay it forward method. I wouldn't be where I'm at unless I accepted help along the way. Mm-hmm. Uncle Mike giving me a place to stay when I needed it the most. Him showing me some type of his love, not necessarily like, saying I love you and stuff like that,
yeah.
But a safe home that I felt comfortable and I can learn in and I can grow, be alone. That's what we're trying to provide, and that's what I've always tried to provide. I've never, all I said is take 2 classes and have a part-time job. And I didn't care when you were taking off. I didn't care when you came back, but it's became very reckless. Mm-hmm. And I'm not upset by you leaving. I'm upset by how reckless you are being about the people that you love. Mm-hmm. I worry about you, not about where you're at, about your safety. And that's what mom has been doing her entire life. And you criticize her for being so on you. All she cares about her entire life is that you're safe. Mm-hmm. You don't know everything that we dealt with your parents. Mm-hmm. Like with that side of the family, we just waited for the phone call of bad news. And that's what happened. And that's why you don't know these things. You weren't around. Mm-hmm. A lot of my success is based upon the loss from family and the loss from people that I was close with that lost hope, that tried to do it on their own and try to correct the problems, and them spiraling, and then other people reaching out to really help them and guide them, and them just pushing them away and just watching them destroy their life. And it sucks because I feel like you become the people that are helping these people are enablers, and they continuously enable, and then it destroys them along the way. Mm-hmm. And it's a tough situation. Like, you're going through your own thing. I get it, but don't disregard the feelings of the people that care about you. Mm-hmm. Because that is one of the toughest things to deal with. When you know all these people loved you, and you just pushed them away, and you just don't even know how to apologize at a certain point. Mm-hmm. That's a dark time. You don't ever want to get to that point. Mm-hmm. Because it's almost like it's almost too late by the time you get to that feeling and emotion. Yeah. It's not good, man. And so I'm hoping that you can catch your footing, because I can only do so much. And I've been hands off, man.
Yeah.
I got no pressure on you. I'm glad that you stepped up to take a third class, but I'm not happy that you missed class last week. And there's a lot more to it too. What am I supposed to do? Discipline you? No, you're your own worst critic, but do something about it.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything about it. You're just letting it keep on driving you down. And this is where strength is built. This is where discipline is built. This is where you control those emotions. You control those thoughts, those feelings. So, I mean, where do you want to go? Where do you want to see yourself?
I want to see myself as a successful person, but I had to figure out how to, like you said, control my emotions, and have to figure out, like, whenever I say be alone, I don't mean just completely throw myself off the face of the earth and never, like, contact you guys, but never let you, like, no, I mean just, like, sit in a room alone and just think about my thoughts and think about how I can make myself better. How can I avoid these things from them happening again? How can I break the generational curse that I have on myself? Because if I continue this, I'm just going to keep continuing it for my family. It's not going to help. It's not going to help anyone in the future. It's not going to help anyone around me. Because I'm only hurting the people around me. And it's, like you said, I'm my biggest critic. So whenever I do something that I know it's going to have a negative impact on my life, I'll question it. And I'll think about it, and then I'll ask myself, what can I do better from it? But sometimes, whenever I don't do that, I just end up making the same mistake because I didn't notice the mistake I was making. I just thought it was something normal that I can do. So still trying to figure it out, man.
Yeah, I can't teach you, but you have to use that self-criticism in a positive light. And I don't know how to direct you how to do that, but it's controlling those emotions. And dude, you're beating yourself up real hard, and it sucks to watch. It really does. Because I'm just sitting here like, I want to help, guide, support. I'm trying to give you a hug, and you're just pushing me away. And Ashley too. And other people that are caring and rooting for you. So we need to figure out what your next step is along the way, man. I mean, I care about you. I love you. I want you to be able to control everything on this paper and be able to come up with a solution somehow, some way, in your own light, in your own way of success, your own path. But you need to do that. All right, man. So let's talk about what's going on. How's work going?
Work is going pretty well so far. I'm not getting scheduled enough, so I need to find another job to make more money.
Why aren't you getting scheduled enough?
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
Because I asked her about it, why can't I get more hours? And
did you go to work this weekend?
Yeah.
Have you missed work?
Once, but that was whenever, it was one time, and I called in like 4 hours before my shift.
Not another time? Mm-mm. Rumor has it you're almost fired.
Really?
Yeah, you called in twice.
I've only called him once, dude.
Have you been late?
Yeah, I've been late a few times.
Dude, you work 3 times a week.
I know.
So what's going on? Why can't you show up for work? Why can't you show up for school? These are the only 2 things that I ask.
I just feel like I'm always going through a tough mental battle, and whenever I do that, I just tend to not want to be around anybody. And then once I do that, I just...
But who are you with then?
Usually myself or Maddie.
Maddie or your friends.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that, but you can't show up for work. That's going to pay the bills. Mm-hmm. And these habits are not good. Mm-hmm. You know, I went out online, asked Gotti to get you a job. Mm-hmm. And now you calling out for you have 3 shifts a week. Mm-hmm. That's probably why you're not getting any shifts. Mm-hmm. And you're about to lose your job because you call in, you're late. Mm-hmm. You're not showing up to work. I don't know what's going on at work. Maybe you made some comments at work that probably shouldn't have been made either. Mm-hmm. But how are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to get better? How are you going to do all these things if you can't stay employed? Mm-hmm. You've never kept a job for more than a year, ever. It's habits. You have a lot of bad habits that I can't break. I can't break for you.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do, okay, you got some mental health issues. That's fine. Everybody has mental health issues. We're all depressed. We all have anxiety. Show up for work. Do your job. It's 4 hours, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an 8 hour drive. You're not working 40 hours a week. You're not putting in 60 hours where you're just like this mental grind.
Mm-hmm.
There's no excuse. Like, and so you notice that this is spiraling and you're not getting the shifts.
Mm-hmm.
You're almost losing your job if you haven't already. Like, how is that going to better your...
It's gonna make things worse.
It's everything that you're doing is creating more problems for yourself, but you just feel like, oh, I need a break. I don't like to be around people, but then you're with people. That's BS to me. A lot of BS. And I think that you BS a lot in life, and I don't think you've ever had it hard. And that's what sucks about this whole situation is you think that, I don't know what you think in your mind, but you think that you've had it hard. You've never really struggled. You've never had a struggle.
Yeah.
No, like the only struggles that you've had, you created for yourself. What if I told you you have been given more chances and opportunities than I have, for one person that I've ever seen in my entire life? Would you believe that?
Probably.
You got adopted into a family that really loves you and cares about you and wants you to succeed. That was your first opportunity to realize that, damn, I got a second opportunity, I got a second chance. You got in a car accident, you almost died. You literally were bedridden for quite some time. You came to live with me for 3 months. After 3 months, it didn't work out. That's fine. So that was another opportunity. Mom took you back in. Obviously not the best situation that you wanted, but you took advantage of that again. You were given $50,000 as another opportunity, and you blew it. Another opportunity is I invited you back into my home because I really see the potential in you and I really want you to do well, and I just care about you finding your own path of success and find your own self, and you're blowing it again. What does God have to tell you that he has given you so much opportunity and you continuously just wipe it away? And you think that my mental health, I understand you're going through some shit, but you've never seen real struggle yet. And I don't know how to come across. I just want to be supportive and love you. And I want to hug you so bad. But at the same time, you're just like, I gotta figure it out on my own. That's fine. Figure it out on your own. But don't push away all these opportunities that you have, man. It's all right there. Like, I don't think you pray every night, but I pray every night for your safety as well as all my siblings. I pray for Ashley every night. I pray for Mom. I pray for Uncle Mike. I pray for my dad that I don't even talk to. I still pray for him because that's how much I care and love about him. But don't push those people away. Like, there's going to be moments in your, like, there's going to be real stress, real shit that goes on. But right now, you have, maybe it's not the perfect situation that you wanted. I don't know what perfect situation you wanted, but you have opportunity and you're just blowing it again. Like, do you feel the pressure? Is that what it is? What pressure do you feel?
To be honest, I don't know. It's hard for me to like be open about these things because I already know, like you said, I'm my biggest critic, but I just don't know how to fix these things because it became a habit. So I struggle with being able to tell the truth or like anything like that. It just becomes a huge weight on my shoulders that I can't get away from.
It's not an overnight process, man. It's not an overnight process. And I don't know if that's what social media has taught you, or that you just kind of figure out a problem and it just flips. It's not. It's a lifelong battle. And that's what I'm scared for you, is because you're dealing with this stuff right now, and you're struggling to find answers. You're struggling to find it. But you have yet to find a real issue. And when you do find that real issue, I don't know if I've given you enough skills and coping mechanisms to handle that. And that's what scares me. That's what scares me with all of my siblings. That, when I talk about my legacy, I want to just be able to give you whatever I can to tell you I have been in a similar situation and I got through it. One of the main reasons why I wanted you to move here is to take the burden off of mom. And when I say burden, I don't mean like you're a burden to her. The burden is a parent. What I came to feel right now is the fact that a parent just wants their kid to be safe. That's all they care about. Really, at the end of the day, they just want them to be safe.
But like before I came here though, like my situation was different. I had, people who did take me in, and I told mom and you guys where I was at after a little bit whenever I did get a phone, and told you guys that I was safe and doing well, because I really was. I mean, I had a really good job. I was doing farm work to make extra money. I would do as much as I can. I wasn't in a relationship. I actually was. I felt comfortable, but I felt like whenever I moved here, like I could do all that again, but then I just get hit and then start spiraling down, because I really I'm still trying to figure out why I do these things to hurt myself and others around me, because it doesn't help anybody's situation. It only worsens mine, and then it worsens the trust around me, and it worsens everything else, the relationship I have with people. And if I keep doing that, it's only going to get worse and worse until they're at their breaking point where they don't want to deal with it anymore. And then whenever you do finally find yourself they may not be there in your life anymore, because you pushed them away so much that they were just like, okay.
Then why let it get to that point?
I don't know. I mentally do not know.
I'll tell you, you just don't know how to accept love. You don't know how to accept love. I mean, I don't know how much Ashley overconsumes us with love. She bought you more presents than we've ever received for Christmas, ever, me or you. And you were very, I saw you on that day, you're extremely happy, like completely caught off guard, and you thanked her and stuff like that. But she does a lot of little things for you too. And so do a lot of other people. Gotti even called me. He said, he cares about you, but he doesn't understand, our upbringing fully, but he cares about you. And he just said, what the fuck's going on with your brother? And I feel helpless, because I don't know, man. I'm trying my best. He's like, dude, got to give him tough love. Tough love is just going to push you into more spiral. But I feel like that. Like, I can't let you push away the people that I love, because
of my actions.
Your actions, it's detrimental to a lot of other things, man. You can't push around the people that care about you. And it's finding some faith in, dude, people can care about me. I could care about other people. Like, to show them love back is by respecting them, communicating with them. Not just me, with everybody. Like, it's becoming a man. And I still feel like you have a lot of childish behaviors, and I hate to be honest with it, but bro, you gotta figure that part out. How do I become a man? How do I step up to my struggles and walk through it rather than run away from it? This is life. This is growing up, man. I can't tell you. I want this to further. I want to talk about more things because it's opening up my eyes to how I kind of like delve through these problems. I did it alone and it sucked. When you start to, where I really found success is when I finally opened up to somebody and I accepted love and I gave it back. The more you give, the more you get. 100%. The more you give, the more you get. It's a pay it forward. So when you think that you're burdening us, I call BS on that. Because this is my opportunity to give back to people that have given to me. And you're not going to see it for a while. I don't think you'll see it for a while. But when you start to accept it, you accept what people are doing for you, you can be like, I'm going to do this for somebody else. Everything that person did, even if it's the littlest thing by getting me a job, I will not fuck it up. And I will make sure that I provide this for somebody else. You need to be example for future people, but you're your own biggest enemy, man. And I don't know how to grind harder on that. And I'm not trying to like call you out on a lot of shit, but I have to, man. You just beat yourself down and you run away. And I don't like lying. I don't like avoiding problems. And I confront them head on. And that's not the best. That's not the best way to do it all the time. I think you do need space sometimes. But I told you, like, my dad ran from his problems for his entire life. I took that and I turned that around. I said, I will never run from my problems. I will always step up and handle it and find a solution as quickly as possible. Some people don't need it quick as possible, but you gotta learn from other people's mistakes. Like, that's why this conversation is so important, because I want you to I want you to hear yourself, because you say you keep on searching for the answers, but I know they're there. You just got to grasp them. And now that you're vocalizing it, rather than it just running through your head, I think there's an opportunity for you to actually put a pen to paper and come up with a plan. But it just sucks being, I got so many good things going on. I don't, when you say it, my attention is taken away from my things. I got tons of good shit happening for me right now. I do better when the people around me do better. When the people around me do worse, I do worse. So it's actually reciprocal of what you're actually thinking. When you run away, when you try to avoid these problems, when you're like, I got to figure it out on my own, that makes me worry more. That makes me take my attention off. When I see you doing well, taking care of your shit, and you're, handling it, I do really, really well. And I've been killing it this last 2 months. So assumptions, like you had mentioned, you're identifying the problem. Now, what's the next step? Figuring out the solution. Now, you're not going to figure it out right away. That's not how it works. That's not how life works. You got to try 1, 2, 3 things, even more. But I want you to watch all these episodes again and watch your plans, your actions. You just need to follow through, and you don't follow through. And I don't know what can I do better in this light, in this moment?
I don't think you can really do anything better. I think it's just me.
What do you want to do? Where do you want to? You talked about being alone, and not alone like alone, but just.
I was gonna probably go move into a buddy's apartment who had a extra bedroom, because I just felt like if I can focus more on things myself and learn how to be alone, because obviously he wouldn't be there all the time, and I get a job and everything like that and stick with it. It's just I don't know how. Like, I'm being honest, I don't know how. Like, I just, like you said, I've never kept a job more than a year, and I don't know why I haven't. It's because I do know, because I get lazy. I don't focus on the things that I'm supposed to be focusing on, because I start focusing on things that really shouldn't matter to me. So all my focus goes on that rather than me trying to build a future for myself.
Yeah, and you talk about trying to move out, and that's why this almost feels like an exit interview. Why, like, to me, that doesn't sound like a solution. That sounds like another spiraling event. You got no money. How are you supposed to pay rent? You're saying that he's not going to be there, so you have more alone time. We are never home. You have the house, you have a computer, you have everything that you need here. But you still think that the solution is, oh, I need to move out to be alone. You have all the alone space. I don't bother you.
It's not even that, dude. It's the fact that I feel like anytime I've came here, anytime I've been with family, the only thing I've ever done is fuck up. The one time that I felt like I was actually gonna accomplish shit, I left it because I thought I could try to do it here, and I want to say it was the right decision, but I don't know, because I felt like the only thing I've done is, you know, fuck up my life more, fuck up my relationship with the people that love me, push people away. And I was doing good for a little bit, but I know myself. I always end up finding something that's gonna make me spiral down, and I end up doing the same shit over and over again, and I don't know how to break it. It's a problem.
You don't know how to accept love.
You're right. I don't. I don't. I'd rather have. And I feel like it's better whenever I have love from a distance. If you really want me to be honest, because like I said before here, I had a good job. I didn't miss one shift. I would work 30 hours a week, 30 to 40 hours a week. And I have pictures and everything of it. Like, I have proof of me doing good in this life.
How long did that last?
That lasted 3 months.
Everything in your life has lasted 3 months.
Yeah, but I left it to come here. That's why. Because I could have kept going. I had the motivation and strength to keep going. I definitely did. And the job was really good. I didn't ever get tired of it. It's just, I feel like with certain jobs, I get tired of them, or I get bored, and that's not an excuse or anything to, be late or miss a shift. It's more of as I just fuck it up, because I get in my head and I'm thinking, I'll find another job, I'll find another one. But how am I going to find another one if my history is me only showing that I've been there for this long? They're not going to want to hire me. They're not going to want to do this. And that's whenever I start depleting, thinking I'm not going to be able to get a job, thinking I'm not going to be able to do anything with my life.
Yeah. No, and it kind of sucks because I get it when you say it's love with distance. I feel like people can't ask you these questions. So when you're going, I don't know what you did over there for 2 months. It could have been completely good, but it could have been it's in the past. It's like, there could have been half of those days where you're still in your head and still thinking about all these different things. I think that, being around people that you love, we're here to hold you accountable. And I think that that's a big thing that you haven't done for yourself yet. You haven't held yourself accountable to any of these goals that you want, aspirations. You haven't held yourself accountable to a long-term job or completing. Like that, I feel like you say that it was great, and I'm very grateful for that family that took you in. But your truth always comes out. And yes, maybe it could have been the best thing for you. Maybe it could have, but it's still a window that you're still lost, and you still need to figure it out. You still would have had to figure it out there.
But I was slowly figuring it out though, because I felt like I was actually accomplishing things. I felt like I was actually getting shit done. Like I was getting ready to sign up for school. I had money there to get my own place, because they had another, they sold properties and everything like that, and they had apartments, and they told me they would lease one of the apartments for me because they saw how well I was working and everything. So it just I feel like in my head, that just the honest truth, I feel like I should have stayed there for a few more months and then really decided if I wanted to come out here, not just throw everything away and just come out here, because that was my biggest issue. Because that's me again, throwing away something I could have had, and then just disregarding anybody's feelings.
Throwing away everything that you had. What did you have when you were there?
I mean, I had a safe place to go. I sat at a dinner table every night, something we never got to do. Sat at a dinner table every night and just like talked about our day. It was very, very comforting. I had my own room. I did have my own room at my own house, but it just like, and I was constantly working. Like even if it didn't feel like work, I knew I was working. Like whenever I'd go feed the animals or help like clean up the farm or do stuff like that, I mowed 3 to 4 acres within 2 hours, which was a very like accomplishing thing to me. Like he would take me into his garage and help me work on cars with him because he was a race car driver like for 15 years straight. So it was just, an opportunity I felt like I threw away. That's what I mean whenever I felt like I had everything I needed right then and there. Because it's everything that I wanted to completely do, but I felt like it would make you happier if I was here, but how am I supposed to make you happier if I'm only going to spiral? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't show you that I'm wanting to do better for myself.
What's my happiness? It's only your safety. And everything that you just said right there, like I feel like we could provide, but if you don't feel that, that's completely fine.
No, because you guys do provide that. You guys provide me with my own room. We eat dinner with each other every night, talk about our nights and everything like that. But the one difference is that I felt like I was able to become a new person. Like I felt like I was able to get out of my shell and be the person I wanted to be. It's hard to do that here because you guys already know me. Like you know me. You know who I am. You know the shit that I do, good and bad. So I just feel like whenever I get into my own head, I just start to spiral, especially whenever I'm around family. I don't know why it's whenever I'm only around family. Like you said, it could because I don't accept love, and that's why I like to be loved from a distance, because I feel like, if I'm doing good over there and I'm happy and doing well, at least I'm safe and I'm doing well and I'm not going to spiral out. Because that's the only thing you want from me, is to succeed and to be safe.
Just safety.
You don't want me to succeed?
I don't know what your success is. As long as you're safe. But I mean, even half the time you've been here, I've never known if you're safe. That's the shittiest part about it. And like you said, your success is not my success. So why do I care if you succeed? Mm-hmm. Success is just a word. Mm-hmm. There's success, daily success. There's
lifelong
career success. There's family success. There's so many different levels of it. Mm-hmm. But I've never put I don't expect you to do anything as far as like be a doctor, all this shit. All I want you to do is to be able to vocalize the way you feel and to handle it in a strategical way. Mm-hmm. I just don't want you to spiral into these events. It's okay to flip one time.
But I've done that multiple times, and I only do it around family. Why is that? Like, why do I only do it around you guys, mom, and people who have already tried to took me in? Like, I didn't do that whenever I was by myself in Edwardsville. I did have friends. I was 20 minutes away from Alex, so if I wanted to go hang out with my friends, he would come pick me up. He didn't have any problem with me going over there and hanging out with them. And whenever I first got there, I only had one friend, and it was Greg. And I was living in that hotel, just with him, and I got a job the same day. As soon as I got there, I started putting applications in everywhere, got a job, started working for them. They closed their restaurant down, but they told me that they would help me find a job, and that they had plenty of stuff for me to do to make money and to help pay rent there in any way possible form, that they would help me. And I accepted it. And like you said, that I accepted it. And whenever I started to actually accept it, I felt like I was doing good. I felt like I was able to, hold my own. I was able to, not miss work, not, worry about having a girlfriend, because that's not what I was focused on. And that's another thing that I have a problem with. I search for someone, not for an escape, well, kind of an escape, but also just as someone to like share my life with. But I wasn't thinking about and I don't know why I started thinking about it now, because I can't take care of someone unless I can take care of myself. I can't make people happy if I'm not happy myself. It only destroys other people.
So I think you constantly like right now what I'm hearing is you're living in regret. And the way I think about things and the way you think about things is, man, I fucked up. I messed up another situation. The way I think about things is I'm going to find success and fly back and go see that family and thank that family and pay it forward somehow. But your whole mentality is switched. And I need to unswitch it where you're actually seeing the opportunities that you have.
See, and I have thought about that before. That's one of the first things I thought about whenever I first came here, is whenever, if I become big, or I become, I make a lot of money, not even that, just to, because even sending them a Christmas card, letting them know that I'm doing okay was, a big factor for them. Ryan texts me every other day because he wants to know that I'm safe and I'm okay. And yes, it is a little bit of a regret. It is, because I felt like one time I felt like I was doing good. I just threw it all away because I'll choose family no matter what, but I wasn't thinking to put myself first, or like the only thing I was thinking about is how my situation is going to get better. And I looked at all these things, but at the same time, I know myself. That's why I was so scared to come over here. That's why I didn't come over here the first month. I needed time. And even then, I feel like I still didn't give myself enough time to really come over here and do what I want, because I still feel like, I even told myself, like, I know there's going to be a time where I fuck up and I'm going to spiral, but I don't know how to bounce back unless I really, because I had to put myself in that position. I had to get myself out of I had to get myself out of Illinois. Like, but I don't know what I could have done to help myself.
Yeah. It's just fun. You can't live in regret, man. Mm-hmm. And so what I challenge you to do is actually make it somehow, some way, because you, just like you said, he's texting you every other day, checking on you, safety. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm asking. There is no pressure here. And and the thing is, like, you're constantly telling me, like, you need to be safe, like you need to figure it out on your own, but you haven't even been here for the last month. So what is this isn't, you're not even here. Mm-hmm. So that's what sucks about the whole thing, is you're saying, oh, this isn't working out for me. Well, shit, you haven't even been here. So how is this not working out? Because this isn't anything.
Yeah.
You haven't been here. You've been out and about. And this is what you did with Mom. Mm-hmm. And I see it. I've always seen it. But it's up to you to do something about it. Same with that family. They just care about your safety. And I think that you accepted their love, and you see it as all this opportunity. But you have yet to accept the people that are
really, family, to look at what they're trying to offer me, look at what they're trying to help me, because it's different. Because I know if I disappoint you guys too much, there's a breaking point. And same with them, if I would have disappointed them, if I would have done the same thing, you know what I mean? Like, but I just felt different there, man. I just felt like, because I was actually comfortable with being alone. Not all of them were there every single day. There's days I would, like, whenever on the weekends, whenever they'd go out and stuff, I'd just stay at home, either sit in my room, watch TV, just wait for work to come, or play my game. I didn't have really that many things to be, like, to go out and about, or to, like, try to ruin myself. But
you distract yourself. You're the one going out with friends. You're the one.
I know, but I don't, because I just don't want to feel alone here. Because at least whenever I was there, I had my best friends. Like, I had people that, like, and I have you guys who care about me and who love me. You're my brother, and nothing will ever change that. But I feel like I just don't know if I can live with family members, man, because I just feel like all I'm going to do is fuck up. I'll do good for a while, and then I go back into the same habits. And I try to break them, but it feels like they're unbreakable habits. and it's all in my head. I know it can be broken, but I'm still trying to decide if that's here or not, man. That's like, I love it here. It's nothing but opportunities here, nothing but to make money, nothing but to be happy here. But it's like that everywhere in the world. No matter where you go, no matter where you are in the United States, you will always have problems like this. It doesn't matter if you live in the richest neighborhood and, with the nicest things, you're still going to have problems.
Yeah.
We're human. Shit like this happens, and maybe, yes, I'm not saying I'm a shitty human, but I make shitty mistakes. I make shitty actions where it affects other people around me. That's like, for once in my life, I felt like I was doing something right.
Well, I'm sure you were, and I could only tell you that I would hope that that family can see you find your path. Now, one thing that I will tell you is you were only there for 3 months. All these thoughts and feelings and emotions, they come about after about 4 months. It sounds like you get it together for 2 months, 3 months, you get your head right, and then all of a sudden, like, 4 months rolls around and you kind of like fall apart again. How do you stay committed to something? How do you stay committed to yourself? How do you stay committed to the people that you love?
I don't know. That's something that I have to figure out, because I don't even know.
Yeah. And I don't know, we're here to support you, and guide you, but I don't know, man, just, you can't push us away, because, Ashley's always asking me, like, is he okay? Is he cool? I don't know. I don't have an answer. I don't. And it sucks. It sucks to tell somebody that, I don't know. Because do you think I sleep well? Do you think mom sleeps well? No, she doesn't sleep well. She thinks about you guys all the time. And in growing up, you just felt like she was just yelling and always complaining. But truth is, she just cared about your safety. And not until you get to a certain age will you finally accept that. Finally understand all this. So I don't know, man. I really like this talk. I'm glad you actually stepped up to bring this to my attention. I want to continue to talk, but I know you're going through some shit, and you're gonna go through some shit. But I need you to listen to this. I need you to actually dive into a solution rather than avoiding the problem, avoiding me. I have never judged you for your actions, your responses to me. I will be upset if you lie to me and you just avoid a situation. That's not the answer. I've never scolded you. You scold yourself, and you always will. I do it all to myself all the time. No one ever has to tell me I'm doing wrong. I already know what I did wrong, and I'm gonna never do it again. You continuously lead this pattern, build these stick with these habits. It's not healthy. It's not good. So I don't know, man. I'm glad you opened up. This is what this is about. I'm hoping that we can connect with others, because you're not the only one that goes through this shit. I've gone through something similar. But you gotta just walk through it, not run from it. So I don't know. I think we've been talking for a long time. I want to continue this conversation. I don't want you to be scared of a conversation like this. This is what you need to hear. And that's what, I'm going to be honest, is all about. So I don't know. Do you want to say anything, last words or anything that you want to talk about?
Don't rely on others to make you happy. Just do what makes you happy. Because you're the only one yourself who can make these decisions. No one's going to make them for you. So if you want to be happy, you make yourself happy. No one's going to do it for you. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. Well, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, hit the follow button. Find out what this guy decides, because he's all over the place. I just want him to be safe. I want him to let me be around when he finds his own path of success. I know these are not the happy conversations that everybody wants to hear, but I think it's important. I'm glad you are able to open up to me a little bit more. This is what I needed, because you really left me on red, as they would call it. I think you guys kids call it, but that's what I felt like. And I felt like you're going through all this shit and you just leave me on red, and then me and Ashley are just sitting here like, fuck, I hope he's okay. I know he's going through some tough time. I just hope he knows that we're still there for him. And I love you, man. So continue. Wait to hear what this guy decides. I know he's going to do well. I want you to thank the people that really care about you and really are here for you and support you, because those are the people that are going to be at your graduation, whether it be school or career or family. Those are the people that really matter. So don't push them away. I love you.
Love you too, man.
All right. Good night.